as usual, very similar to last week's game. Mississippi came here with a terrific win under their belt, and they looked very confident. These games are extremely difficult. Your favourites, I said it last week, a bit of a banana skin. Our attitude was good. We started off well. Couldn't have asked for much more in the first half, other than to really have finished the game off. Missed penalty and a couple of other opportunities to have made it quite an enjoyable evening and less stressful for me. But we have a great habit of making sure that I stay on my toes. And the second period, they, understandably, were a little bit more positive, pressure higher up the field, and slowly but surely they got in the game, and the goal wasn't a shock. Some of the choices, quality, and ability to really affect their back line went awry from our group, and it wasn't until a couple of the changes we started to stabilise the game again and get ourselves back into a more positive position. But very, very pleased. I thought Mississippi put on a great show. Of course, we would always expect to win because we're the pro outfit, but many, many times we see, as we did in the last round, that the pro team doesn't fulfil their potential and what they're capable of, and they don't make the next draw. They don't get themselves in the hat, and you know, we now will get drawn against an MLS group, which will be fantastic.
How easy was it for you to put Brandon in right off the bat?
Really easy. Brandon's a calibre player. He's a class individual. He's had just 2 training sessions with us, but he looks sharp. He's been playing at Bethlehem. There was never a doubt in my mind, wanting to win this game, that with the way Tucker had performed last week, having somebody of Brandon's calibre up front alongside him should and was a real threat in the first half. And as I said, he gets his goal, which is great. He should have really converted the penalty. He'd be disappointed about that. But in between, there were a few other excellent chances that we could have extended our lead. So no issues, no worries about putting him in. Really pleased he's got an hour under his belt with the group, scored and got off to a really good start. So I couldn't be more delighted.
How satisfying is it to sign a striker and have him score a goal the next day?
Straight away. And the amazing thing is as well, Robin's got his first. We've waited a long time. I know an awful lot about Robin, and he created both goals last week, got himself in a couple of wonderful positions and has done, and I could probably name those moments, but has just been unable to execute. And I see him every day in training, and I've seen a lot of him in the past, and he's a terrific finisher. And what you saw, the composure, the skies at the end there, to finish the game off, is really what Robin's about. He's a creator, he's a finisher, and I really hope for him as well, it starts to open the gates a little bit more, and a bit of confidence. Yeah, really pleased with the chances we created, and of course for Brandon to get off the mark as a brand new player.
You were also able to get Ish on the field as well. What were your thoughts on his performance?
I was. I just thought he looked a little bit tentative. He's a terrific athlete. He has good talent, and he's naturally left-sided. You can see some of the the physical qualities that he can bring for us. I just thought he looked very tentative with his play. Understandably, he comes into the game at a tricky point. They're on top. They're in the ascendancy, and his job as much as anything was to try and stabilise the game, which I felt we did a decent job of, and there'll be a lot more to come from Ish, I'm sure.
You're coming up on a stretch of 5 games in 15 days. What kind of test of depth do you think that's going to be, and how are you going to manage the minutes?
Big, yeah. For any group of players that have got so many fixtures, and we knew if we could get through this round that we'd be in the draw for 2 weeks' time, knowing that we've got 2 extremely tough away league games with Charleston and Pittsburgh waiting for us. 2 informed sides, not going to be easy. But I think you've seen tonight that there are a number of guys that I still class as first-choice players. You know, Ryan James is a first-choice player. London Woodbury's been out and a first-choice player. Tucker Hume has been terrific and a first-choice player. He's been on the line. He's you know, not been used regularly, but as you see, he's a handful, and he's an asset to have. So there are a number of guys out on that field tonight that have performed well. They've done their job tonight, and there might be some changes for Saturday. But I need to see how the guys are when they come in. As you can imagine, some sore limbs, a few lumps and bumps, and you know, we won't have long to turn around, and we'll be on a flight Friday morning and trying to compete again in a very tough fixture in Charleston.
You mentioned London. How good is it for your depth to have him back? And then obviously he got his first goal tonight too. Is that satisfying for you to let him have a goal?
Yeah, I wouldn't think London was expecting to get himself on the score sheet. I really hoped he would get through 90 minutes. I took a bit of a chance and didn't even ask him in the final 10 minutes when I brought Rapapa on. But he looked well. He's a very well-kept individual. He looks after himself. You can see the way he performed. He's in good shape. The biggest issue, of course, is when you get fatigued. That the injury he's had, he's put under more stress, and suddenly, you know, you're not quite as nimble in those late stages as you might have been early on. But wonderful to have him back. He's a great lad, and you know, another character to bring into the locker room.
Just some real quick thoughts on Charleston. You've already mentioned that they're a tough side and in form. Just a few more thoughts about your team heading down.
Well, they're on a great run. I think they're 8 unbeaten. They've got themselves in a wonderful position in the league. Their home form of old is always very good. It's a tough place to go to in Charleston. It will be a good surface, and there'll be a good footballing side, whilst also having all the qualities you might expect from a winning team. They're physically well equipped, and their 3-4-3 shape has caused teams problems. We've been able to go on the road, pick up points, perform well, and I see no reason why that can't be the case on Saturday. Every game throws up different challenges, of course, but you know, I would expect that will be as tough a test and challenge for them as they will be for us. They won't expect an easy ride, and they won't get one. But you know, we've got to finish off this, what we've looked at as the first 12 games, 8 of them away from home, against some really tough sides. And we've got to continue our good form. We've got to see this run out in good shape. And if we can look forward to a number of home games, get the fans behind us, get a bit of form, bit of confidence, and I see no reason why we can't cause some damage.